All right, Jay Lockhart here. I am here with a special guest. He goes by the name Andy, but technically speaking, through his username, his legal name is technically Phuoc Dinh. He has topped third place at the most recent PPG Online Regional tournament, but also topped back in Gen Con when I made the video for the other blue croc. Going third place as well, right?
Yes.
But yeah, I know I did a little introduction, but if you want to introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, my name's Phuoc Dinh. Started playing in set 2, and I'm addicted to this game.
Congrats on placing. I know I missed out on the shanks, but definitely still a top place once again. But yeah, what deck did you go through for this regional tournament?
So I started a croc. I've been playing Whitebeard since the beginning of set 2, and I decided to do something different. And I really liked it, and it performed well for me the weekend.
Cool. You normally played Whitebeard and
Yes.
topped with Whitebeard before. Why the switch to Croc?
Well, I played the Niagara Regional on Saturday. On the Saturday, and again did okay. Went 7-2. Lost 2 Whitebeard mirrors, and I just felt that again I had no agency. I went first. Lost those games where I really couldn't do anything different. So I wanted to play a deck where there was more lines, and again, just to improve for future.
Do you feel like Croc is also good against Whitebeard in the matchup?
Yes, and I feel like a lot of people don't know how to play around against his ability and things like that. So I just thought it was fun to play. And also a lot of people in my testing group, Arthur is one of them, plays Croc, so I have a special spot as leader.
Cool, yeah. So let's go through the deck list here.
Yep. So first, let's just get the 2Ks out of the way. I run 10 of them. So we have 4 Kaya. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good.
4 Sasaki. And then 2 Mihawk. I think the only one I really played throughout the tournament was the Kaya. I played the Sasaki once to try to get a Red Rock against Yellow. It didn't work. That was my only loss. And then I played the Mihawk one time on curve.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, we're playing the better build, the Sentamaru.
We've been playtesting with Arthur a lot with his Impel Down package. And for any viewers seen my previous video, he topped with the Impel package. Why the Sento over Impel?
I just feel like you get to run a greedier list. Like you get to run 4 Red Rock, 4 3000 Worlds, and because Sentamaru carries your entire mid game per se, and also just being able to cheat out blockers and stuff like that against Yellow is pretty important. Just getting cheat out 6k attackers against Whitebeard, pretty important in this meta. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, I run 2 of the Pacifista blocker, 2 of the Kuma. I know a lot of other lists have been cutting this, but I really like it. And then 4 of the vanilla Pacifista.
Yeah, I feel like the blocker Kuma is another way to cheat out one of the other pacifistas, right? So is that the reasoning for it?
Yeah, and also just against Whitebeard, because eventually you're going to bounce their stuff, return it to deck and bottom deck and all that kind of stuff. But being able to block the first attack with this and develop another blocker where their only option after that is Rush Luffy is really helpful when you're holding back at 1 life. And the same thing against Yellow. And then for the rest of the deck, 4 Dofi Stacker, 4 Miss Sunday, which is one of the best cards for the weekend. Running 3 Soga King, 4 Mihawk, and 2 10-drop Kaido. And then for the events, we're running 4 3000 Worlds, 4 Red Rock, and 3 Dragon Twister.
Now, so in regards to counters, it looks like it's just the Dragon Twisters. And we've talked about it before. Out of I would say the entirety of the deck, is there any MVP cards that you would say that really outdid itself for the tournament?
I would say for sure Dragon Twister. I versed 3 Zoros, and those were some of the hardest matches of the tournament. I literally had to keep recycling this, keep leaving up for dawn, and then using Miss Sunday to keep getting this back to hand because they were just aggroing me down. So that was pretty good. And also just Dofi stacking with Dofi, again, in both Zoro matches, or 2 of the 3, I Dofi stacked into Dragon Twister and then used Kaya to draw them. Because I felt just having the defense I needed to survive.
Nice. Let's talk about matchups. So PPG was it 512 players?
Yeah, 512.
512, so that equates to 9 rounds, right? So what were your matches like, if you can kind of recall that?
Yeah, I have it on my phone over here.
Yeah.
But versus Zoro round 1, I believe that was a more eventless Zoro. They had pistol, but I don't think they had Fire Fist. I had versus Katakuri round 2. Croc Mirror round 3. I played Newgate round 4. Zoro round 5 and 6. I played Ace round 7. Katakuri round 8. And then final round I played Newgate again. My only loss was in round 8 against Katakuri, and I wasn't even close.
Do you feel like Katakuri is one of the worst matchups for Croc, or?
I think it's the second worst. I think the worst is Law, and I got pretty lucky dodging Law. Shout out Jason, he bodied me today on Law. But yeah, like it's just this deck has no early game before like 2, 3, 4 down. You're doing nothing. So Law being able to go wide and swing 5s is pretty difficult. And again, yellow, they're just dropping big bombs. Like the round I lost in round 8, the guy won, I think, 5 life.
5 life.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So for starting hands, is there any particular starting hands you would aim to have for this deck?
For Zoros, like a Zoro won't throw in my matches. I always try to mulligan for this, and then also see a Dofi stacker. Sento I didn't really rely on as much unless it was against, like I only really need this against yellow, green, and like a Newgate. I also tried both Newgate matches that I won. I had this on curve, which is the reason why I kept my hand. And then most of the times I did lose 7 out of 9 die rolls. So I went first in most of my games, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I only went second in 2 games. Because when I would lose, people would still pick second, but that's the curve that I want. So now I would look for a Dofi Stacker or a Soga King.
So going first is the aim for this deck list?
Yes, going first is a lot better.
Cool. In regards of the success with this deck, I know it's been topping a lot, and Croc has now technically became meta now. From what you've experienced from the tournament, is there any deck changes or any cards that you want to change from this deck list?
I know this deck list, I think, is a variation of the one that top 8'd at Knoxville. And I know a lot of people are cutting the 2 Kumas and then cutting out a Pacifista like a Soga King for faulty. But I think that card is actually terrible. Like I play tested with it, and it's never good in any of the matchups except against the Law on curve or against Zoro on curve. Because even after, yes, you're bottom deck some of it, but you never want to spend 3 down playing a 4K body that can only bottom deck after you attach it onto it. And it's not searchable in this deck, so if you're running 2, which a lot of lists are doing, you're never seeing it when you want it.
True. Yeah, I believe like with this deck list, there's only one cost, I believe.
Yeah, there's only Kayas.
Kayas.
And again, some people play the Kaya to see the ulti on curve or the Sentimar on curve, but I almost never play a turn 1.
Yeah, so is alternatively, if there's going to be any other one cost, it would probably be the Who's Who for search or Perona for stacking like turn 1. But this deck does look like it's just no turn 1 plays, right?
Yes, just past turn 1.
Past turn 1. Question.
Yeah, so if I were to make any cuts, I'd probably cut one of these and something, and maybe a Soga King. But again, Soga King's only good on curve. So if you're not running 3, it's pretty difficult to see it on 7 or 8 dawn. But I want to add Gum Rains, as a lot of times I wanted to pitch a lot of the dead cards in my hand, because I'm running 4 Mihawk, because you have to see it every game, it's not searchable. And again, a lot of times you when you're stuck with 2 to 3 in hand, you want to pitch them. So maybe adding Gum Rain could be good, because it's kind of like another 2K counter in the sense that you're pitching 2 cards for 3K counter.
Noticing that you have 2 big bodies, the Mihawk and the Kaido. Do you find one more important than the other?
Yeah, I think Mihawk's a lot more important in the sense that it's almost always good. It's only not good against yellow because they have a lot of the and then Queen, where they have the 8 cost bodies and up. But almost always you're gonna want to bottom deck their Marcos, their blockers, and that kind of thing. Well, Kaido is a little bit awkward. Where I think I only played him one time the entire tournament. I played him against Zoro. Almost no other time. And I played this against Newgate to bounce back an ace. But honestly, I think this card's a little overrated, which is why I cut it down to 2. A lot of people run 3, and they think it's kind of an auto win against Rebecca and stuff like that. But I feel like in those matches you're already favored, so you don't need the third one.
Cool. I think that's about it. If anything, once again, congratulations on topping.
Thank you.
Do you have any shout outs or anything you want to call out?
Shout out all the boys that are in the Discord testing. Shout out all my friends that tell me to get off Newgate because it was pretty. I mean, right after I got off, I topped. And shout out Arthur for putting me on Croc, even though he doesn't believe in Sun Tomorrow at all. And yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Once again, well, thanks for being here for this video, and congratulations.
I'll see you guys at Nats.
Peace.